everyone. I got a job. I have been dreaming of saying these words for so long that it's been 48 hours since I found out, and it honestly still feels absolutely crazy to think that I will have a job. So my contract doesn't start until March. Right now it is middle of January. I already have a placement at the hospital where I'm going to be working, so I'm going to be observing, continuing my observership. It's not the same hospital that I've been observing before, but they are the same staff there. It's like a step down facility from the hospital I was an observer in before. So this clip is a bit chaotic. This is just the beginning of the vlog that I'm gonna call I got the job, probably, that I have no idea when it's gonna come out. I will try to do like a week in my life as an observer now that I have a little bit of motivation to tell you more about what's going on a day-to-day basis, like what am I actually doing. So I was before in an acute hospital and now I'm in a step-down facility. It's a very different workflow. So my plan is basically to make a separate video explaining how my day was going in an acute hospital as an observer, and then to do the same type of video for this hospital that I'm in now. It was my first day today, so I don't have tons of experience just yet, but I do have 4 months of exposure in my previous placement. And please, if you have followed my journey so far and you saw how hard, how long it took me to get a job, please comment down below and say congratulations. I know this is a really weird thing to ask for congratulations, but come on, guys, like I've been suffering so long wanted to get a job, and now I finally have it. I didn't sign a contract yet. I will be sent a contract over the next probably couple of weeks to finish all the paperwork, but like I was officially promised that the job is mine, and that's all that matters. So today is Sunday and my fiance is on call today, so I am on my own. I'm gonna show you the kind of like my agenda for the day. It can all be summarized into that little pile. So I am planning to read a little bit of this book, which is a medical book, and then I have and then I have two fiction books that I want to read a little bit of. But my main thing is my computer today because I need to prepare for an interview. I'm not sure if I said it yet. I don't think so, because the last time I gave a little update, I told you that I finally arranged a job for myself that I don't have any update on currently because it only starts in March, so they're not gonna process my documents until a bit later on. But I have another exciting announcement that came in the day after I found out about the job, and it's that I have an interview next week on Wednesday for basic specialist program, which is basically a residency program, like not a residency, but I call it a pre-residency in Ireland. So if you decide to become someone in internal medicine, for example, a pulmonologist or a cardiologist or endocrinologist, something like that, you need to be enrolled in a program called Basic Specialist Training. It usually lasts for 2 years, and then after that, you're applying for higher specialist training, which is gonna make you eventually a consultant. So what I did last year in October, I applied for Basic Specialist Training, and I was very, very, very lucky to be invited for an interview for that program. That doesn't obviously mean that I'm accepted or anything. That's just an interview. Most people get invited to these interviews, and then I believe in about a month of time I will find out if I got in or not. If I did, the program will start from July, and if I didn't, well, I didn't. So yeah, I have an interview on Wednesday, and I'm going to prepare today mostly because I have to go to my observership as usual tomorrow and the day after. Hopefully maybe I can leave a bit earlier on Tuesday so I can have some extra time to prepare for Wednesday. As usual with all the interviews, I am not going to discuss questions that they are asking because that's breaking basically the confidentiality of this interview. I'll just tell you that it usually lasts about 10 to 15 minutes, and there are different questions involved. Sometimes they ask about the program itself, sometimes they ask, not sometimes, most of the time, they ask about yourself. So the usual about your CV, about your previous experience, and who are you basically, because I assume they interview lots of people during the day. Imagine, like you cannot just memorize all this CV, so of course they have to get to know you. Like you have to have a very good elevate pitch about yourself prepared for all kinds of interviews you're in if you're in the medical field. So that's something I'm going to be working on today. And of course, as any medical interview, it will contain some medical scenarios that I will need to respond to. That's usually my main concern because I am a very junior doctor. I'm still learning a lot. So obviously, I always need to brush up on all the common scenarios that can happen in a hospital that I will be involved in one way or another. So that's something I'm going to be going over today as well. That past week that just passed, that was, I have to say, what a start for the year. What a start. Got a job, got an interview. Like, it feels like my life is finally picking up, and I can't be more happy. Like, the only thing that will make me like more happy and over the moon if I will be able to arrange for myself to go to Russia before I start the job. That's it. Like, that will be basically all my goals for the year wrapped in the first 3 months. Yeah. And thank you so much for being with me, because like I documented most of my journey on YouTube, and I can look back at all of my lows and all my highs and kind of say like it was worth it. It was really, really worth it. I went to Rituals yesterday and I bought a bunch of things. I'm gonna show you. So I bought this beautiful candle. It was part of a set. I also got this body cream, and again it was part of the package, like part of the gift set that I got. And then from here I got, as a gift actually, I got these two little creams, and they are day cream and night cream. And then over here, which was also part of the gift set, is my favorite, absolutely favorite body scrub. I usually get it in the biggest size they have. This shower gel, also from Ritual of Hammam, and the smell is just absolutely incredible. I love this thing. And then the last thing I picked up is the set of 4 creams, and this is one of them. I basically just put one in each purse I carry. So this one is Ritual of Sakura. Hi guys, I wanted to give you a little rundown. How can you use ChatGPT for interview prep? So I'm currently preparing for my basic specialist training program interview in Ireland, and I'm going to show you the whole rundown of how am I using this program. So basically the first thing I say is I have an interview for program in Ireland and you will help me prepare. So I'm setting a very clear expectation out of the program, and then it gives me this like Bachelor of Science and Technology, BST. Obviously it's not the correct one, so after he finishes the prompt, I basically say it's not that, it's basic specialist training program for doctors. That's when the ChatGPT completely changes the trajectory. Now he gives me an overview of the program and gives me some examples of the questions. Now I just need to narrow down completely what he's giving me, the information that he's giving me. Now it's also not correct something, so I'm just saying I'm applying for BST in internal medicine because I think that the chat thought that it's like all the same, the BSTs. Oh yeah, so here it says fields like general medicine, surgery, psychiatry. So I wanted to narrow it down to say that I'm applying for internal medicine, like general medicine. So the next thing that I asked, I said this, and then he narrowed down, gave me some common questions that might be asked on a BST interview. Obviously, he takes it all from the internet, so please do not just study from it. Always check your sources. You can actually ask ChatGPT to send you the sources that he's using, and you're gonna see later I actually asked for that. Then the next thing I said that I will send you my CV and you will come up with possible answers and questions according to it. Be aware that it has to be brief because the interview is only 10-15 minutes. So I gave him a really realistic time frame, so he wouldn't give me like a giant speech that I can memorize, but it's going to take up a big chunk of my interview. So basically now he knows that it has to be brief. He gave me some samples of questions that I'm going to just study and see what I can take from it. It's just for basically to make your like you don't just copy, because then you're gonna sound very scripted and no one's gonna care. You just take it as like a starting point and then you just make it your own, you know. Then the clinical knowledge questions, it only, as you can see, it's only based it on my CV, and my CV is basically respiratory medicine, so he only asked about that. So next thing I asked is, they will also ask what the program consists of, what do you know about it, give me an answer and source when you got it. So that's where it explained me a little bit about the program itself, even though I already know, but I have to dig a bit deeper this time. And he sent me a video, which is basically an introduction webinar that was conducted at some point back, I think in 2020. It's quite a long one. You can see I already went through most of it, and it gives you a very good overview of what the program is about, what it consists of, what are the expectations of the people that are in it. So it's a very, very good place, again, to start and to have, to know what is expected of you. And then the next thing I asked is, because I need to prepare for the clinical part, so come up with more clinical scenarios in general internal medicine, not just respiratory. Use most common presentations like chest pain, headache, etc. So at that point, I did not read the whole. So I have this document here, which is, I'm going to show you the name of it. It's General Internal Medicine Basic Specialist Training Manual, and you can find it on on their Institute of Medicine website. It's a free, anyone can find this document. So I was just reading through it, and eventually, so I asked for some common questions, and he gave me some scenarios, but I felt like it wasn't really that enough. It gave me also sources, as you can see, you can click and you can check all, especially with plan and with medications. Please always double check. Don't just blindly believe ChatGPT, because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you just use this as your guidance. I asked also, based on based on my CV, I should have said, prepare a good answer to walk me through your CV question, because we all know that this question is gonna come. Introduce yourself, tell me about yourself. They use different words, but they essentially asking the same thing. I also said make sure only use medical experience, because I had a couple of other jobs as well, and include something about wanting to be involved in research, because people always like to hear that, and I'm unfortunately to this day have not been involved in research, which I'm gonna change, I swear to God. But at the moment, I just need to show that I'm eager to start. He gave me an answer based on my CV about that. I still need to read through it and see if it's good enough, and if I have to change anything, which I probably will. And then I found in this little document, I found a list of common presentations that an SHO of year 1 is supposed to know how to manage. That's what I said. I will send you a common presentation. You will give me for each differential diagnosis what to ask specifically in history taking, and bring a plan of management. So I sent this list that I took directly from this document. So this is what is expected of a BST trainee. And then ChatGPT gave me a whole list of all these presentations with what to ask, differential diagnosis, management plan, which is incredible. And that's what I'm going to study basically for the rest of the time. So this is just one example. How can you use ChatGPT? I use the free version, by the way, to help you prepare. And from this sidebar, you can see that I use it quite a bit for different things like interview. This is for my YouTube. This is the cover letter. Okay, I hope this little bit was helpful. Hey guys, it's the morning before my basic specialist training interview, and I am very excited, mostly for it to be over, because well, let's be honest and fair. I don't think anyone is looking forward to doing interviews. It's more like something we have to do to further our careers. So yeah, I'm gonna show you my setup. So the rules are, I have to show my passport on camera. So I prepared this little spot. I took away the gin bottle that usually stands over there, because that's we don't want that. And then I have my passport here, my computer. The phone has to be turned off, so I'm planning to turn it off right before my interview. So the interview is at 11:15. I have an hour before. I do have to log in 10 minutes before it starts, just for the unexpected changes in the timeline. They might get me in sooner. I did not study this morning because I'm just way too kind of excited slash nervous to study, but I did study last night, and I hope that it will go well. It's gonna last about 10 to 15 minutes. It's a very short interview because they have a lot of people to go through, like they're very, very on time crunch. There's lots, like hundreds of people applying every year for this program. So this is my setup. The interview is in about an hour. I'm gonna do like one last run through the most common questions before I start. I need to change. Obviously, I'm not going in my Guts Tour t-shirt. Wish me luck. Well, when you're seeing that, obviously it's all over, and I'm gonna make another video after I finish with my thoughts. Yeah, and there is one more exciting announcement that I did not announce just yet. And that will be probably a whole separate vlog because I will be taking my camera. It's another trip, but it's not your ordinary like vacation type of thing. It's a longer trip this time, and to a very, very special place that is near and dear to my heart. Hi guys, so this is me post my interview. I completely flanked the clinical question. Like, I completely said the wrong treatment. I am upset at myself because I just choked. Like, this is just not the case that I got, was not something I deal with, like in the hospital where I'm observing, and it's just something that not very common. I was surprised they picked that case. I'm not gonna share the case, of course, because that's against the privacy policy, but apart from that, I got, the ethical question went really well. I think I got it all like perfectly to the T. Then the second thing is, like my self-presentation and everything, that was fine as well. So the interview overall was very short, very to the point, like very fine. Like I felt fine. That was not the problem. The only thing is I completely flanked my clinical question. I will get a rundown, like when I get the results of the interview, I get a rundown of how many points I got for each section, so I can see exactly how much points they gave me for that question. I'll see you in a month. I'll see you in a month because I will only get the results in a month. And at the end, when they were like, oh, do you have any questions? And I was like, no, not really. I know it's such a bad form. You have to ask a question, like you have to be curious about something. But to be honest, their guide on their website is so comprehensive that I was like, I don't really have questions. Like, I know about the program. I know what I'm getting myself into. And the only question I had was, when will I get the results? Oh, okay. So now I can relax. Now I can relax.